Hey everyone, welcome! Today we're jumping into a really powerful metaphor for salvation that comes to us all the way from the 14th century. It's called the Divine Bridge, and it's from this incredible mystical text by Catherine of Siena. And, it tackles this timeless question about how we overcome challenges that seem completely impossible. So let's get right into it.
Seriously, just think about that for a second. How do you bridge a gap that feels impossible to cross? It could be a personal struggle, a huge divide in society, or even a spiritual chasm. It's a question we all run into, right? And it's the exact question that's at the very heart of the text we're looking at today. Okay, so what are we actually looking at here? This is a piece from the Dialogue of Divine Providence. It was written in the 14th century by Catherine of Siena, who was this amazing mystic and, believe it or not, a doctor of the church. The whole book is basically written like this super intimate conversation between a human soul and God, and it uses some absolutely stunning imagery to get into the biggest questions of faith.
All right, so every good story starts with a problem, right? And this one is no different. It begins with what the text calls ein gebrochener Weg, which just means a broken path. A connection that was supposed to be there is now totally shattered, creating that massive gap we were just talking about.
So according to this text, the original sin of humanity, which is symbolized by Adam's disobedience, it didn't just crack the road to heaven, it completely destroyed it. The path was gone, leaving all of humanity totally stranded, with no way to get to eternal life on their own.
And this is where the imagery gets really powerful. The text says that as soon as the path was broken, a stormy flood rose up to fill the gap. This isn't just any river, it's a raging torrent of sin and its consequences. It's a flood that you can't just swim across. And according to this passage, everyone was drowning in it, totally lost.
So you've got this really dire situation, right? A broken path, a deadly flood. What could possibly be the solution? Well, this brings us to the core metaphor of the entire work, Die göttliche Brücke, the Divine Bridge.
So here's the big reveal. This bridge, die Brücke, it isn't made of wood or stone. The text is super clear about this. The bridge is God's own Son, Jesus Christ. He himself becomes the path, stretching all the way from earth to heaven, rising high above that dangerous, stormy river down below. And this just nails the whole point, doesn't it? The bridge isn't just a path, it's a rescue. It's a structure built entirely out of divine love, specifically so that people wouldn't be lost to that flood. It's a total gift, a way to get across safely. But, how was this incredible bridge actually built? The text gives us this fascinating blueprint for what it calls der Bau der Brücke, the construction of the bridge. And you'll see that every single component is packed with deep symbolic meaning.
So let's break down the building materials, because this is fascinating. The stones that pave the bridge, they're the virtues themselves. Things like patience, charity, courage. And what holds those stones together? The text says it's a divine mortar, the blood of Christ, symbolizing his sacrifice. And the foundation holding the whole thing up? That's truth itself, which the allegory says is Christ. Every single piece is a symbol.
And the journey across this bridge is also symbolic. It's a spiritual climb that happens in 3 stages. You start at the feet, which represent letting go of all your earthly attachments. Then you climb higher to the heart, which is where you find a real love for virtue itself. And finally, you reach the top, the mouth, where you can actually taste true, lasting peace. Okay, so the bridge is there. Great. But that's not the end of the story. Its existence creates this critical moment that the text calls zwei Wege eine Wahl, 2 paths, 1 choice. It's not enough for the bridge to just be there. Every single person has to choose to get on it. And wow, the text does not pull any punches here. The choice could not be more clear-cut. You can either travel on the bridge, which is the path of truth and leads to life, or you can go under it in the river, which is the path of lies that leads to destruction. One way is hard but filled with light, the other seems easy but it ends in total darkness. That choice is everything.
All right, so what's die Reise über die Brücke, the journey across, actually like? Is it a walk in the park? The text is very, very clear on this. And here we get this beautiful paradox. The right path isn't the easy one. The journey takes effort, it can be exhausting, but here's the difference. Unlike the path in the river, this journey offers real refreshment, incredible light, and at the end of it all, immortal life. The struggle has a purpose, and it has an incredible reward.
And this quote right here, this is pretty much the core message, the main takeaway of the entire allegory. It's this direct, almost urgent plea from the divine voice in the text. It's a final, powerful command that sums it all up. Choose the bridge. Don't let yourself get tempted by the path that looks easy down below.
because that path is a lie.
And so we're left with the one big question that this whole allegory forces us to think about. In a world that's just full of different paths, some look easy, some look hard, which one is the one that actually leads to truth? Catherine of Siena was asking this back in the 14th century to talk about a spiritual gap, but man, it feels just as relevant for every single insurmountable gap we face in our own lives today.